Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 10 Chinese Collector Heavy, the WZ-114 SP2. This is, it's not a very enjoyable tank for me. In fact, it's probably one of my least enjoyable Tier 10s in the game. Simple reason why is because the gun sucks. I hate tanks that have bad guns, because what's the point of driving a vehicle if you can't hit half the shots you're shooting, right? That's the exact scenario that you have when driving this vehicle. I mean, sure, it hits hard with 620 damage per shot, but the accuracy is 0.38. It's genuinely unplayable levels of dispersion, and it can definitely make driving this vehicle a really unenjoyable experience. But let's put it to the test. Let's see what the 114 can do. A lot of people have been telling me that it's good now because the armor has gotten buffed and the upper plate's actually decent and the turret's pretty good, and I do agree in those values. It does have decent hull-down armor, and the gun does hit hard. Like, I do think that you can have a decent game in this tank. It's just, man, when your gun decides not to work, the chances of enjoying this tank are pretty slim. So, let's see. They have an MBTB, they have a T110E5, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if those vehicles ended up going over towards the other side of the map. I'm going to play pretty aggressive over here because I just have a feeling we're not going to be seeing a single tank on this flank. So the best play to make for me right now would probably be to move over here. There you go, we got the Yag detected, and boom. That's a 650 damage shot into that player, and we spotted them, which means that they are no longer able to work that position. That's pretty huge, and it basically ruins that Yag's game. Okay, let's move up, and let's see, we have the MBTV. Oh, we have the enemy Waffle, which I'm going to aim in on, and boom, there you go. 799. Not really sure why that player poked me, but they threw their game away for it, and we've assisted 1,300. We've basically taken 2 out of the 3 tank destroyers out of the game at this point. We have the MBTV, which we get a nice 680 damage chunk into. This is obviously where having a nice damage output feels great, right? This tank has pretty good damage per shot, and its actual DPM isn't bad, so you don't have to suffer too much in that regard. We're already up to 2,700 damage, and we're going to wiggle our vehicle. Unfortunately, he goes right through the corner cutout. Alright, well, MBTB's dead at this point, so not really going to waste my time on him. Let's see if we can get a shell into the enemy M60. We have his rear exposed, and there you go. 956. And that M60's game is stripped away. Again, when you get this gun to work, it can feel pretty powerful. And we have definitely gotten our gun to work in this game so far. Let's reload. We have the E5. We have the M60. Whatever. Just slap the M60 with a high explosive. Alright, I'm going to move up at this point. See if we can get some damage into this E5. Going to drive down over here. Keep on going, keep on going. Let's see, they also have a Hori, which has not been spotted the entire game, so that's something else to think about. Okay, let's keep going up the hill, and bonk. There you go. 609 off you. I don't really care if the C5 hits me. We have our repair kit, and okay, damages my ammo rack, of course, but yeah, I mean, I have my repair kit. I can just sit here. I can aim it on the lower plate. There's another 775. That's a huge chunk, and at this point, the E5 is not doing very good. The Hori is spotted on the other side, so we're just going to reload. And, okay, well, this guy's completely cooked at this point. Well, we've actually had a pretty good game. We're up to 5,000 damage. I wonder if that Hori is going to cross in the open. Let's see. Nice! That was a shocking shot. I cannot believe that that hit. But there you go. 5,821 damage and 1,933 assisted. As you can see, when you do get this gun to work, it actually can be pretty good. The armor on this tank, not very good, but we didn't really need the armor this game. We focused more on spotting. We assisted 2,000 damage. We did 5,800. That's literally 8,000 combined. I mean, that's pretty crazy. So let's take a look at the post-game results here. There you go, not too bad of a game at all. We did get lucky, though. The enemy team was pretty bad, and they allowed me to farm them out by where they positioned. So, let's try another game in the 114 and see if it can keep it up. The thing that you have to be really careful about is when you're up against hull-down decent players. Because, as I said, the gun is just so inaccurate. And if you don't have the opportunity to hit your shots, like let's say you're aiming at a hull down Kron, the only weak point on a Kron hull down is either loading HE and splashing it or trying to hit the hatch. But good luck trying to hit the hatch on that thing when it's, fully hull down. So this game, we have a Chieftain, M6 Yo, we got a 5A, and a 777. Okay, so that's not a very fun matchup. We have an AMX, which I guess is alright, but they're not instilling confidence. Alright, well, let's head over towards the heavy flank, and we'll play it by ear. And our grills are immediately going over towards the medium side. Brother, what are we doing? You're in tank destroyers? Oh, no. I don't understand how it's fair that they get a chieftain and a light tank in a platoon, and we get 2 grills who are going to the medium flank. It's a loss, I can tell you that already. And the sad part is we have the better spawn, but it doesn't matter. What am I supposed to do? I can't play aggressive when my TDs are on the other side of the map, not supporting at all. So, and we have nobody pushing into the medium flank, so I'm already detected from the enemy Rheinmetall on the other side of the map. Yep, that's great. Yep, there you go. And what a good start. My gun decides to miss. Yep, this is a loss and a half. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do. Just gonna back up, and we'll chill over here for now, I guess. We have that grill. I wonder if they're going to be foolish enough to cross. Actually, okay. I bounced the Rheinmetall, guys. I bounced the Rheinmetall. That's great. Thanks, game. Don't you know? The RHM Panzerwagen has a lot of armor. Okay. Can't hit you. Nope. Okay. We have the 5A. Nope. Great. This is what I mean by this tank is pretty garbage. We have a 6K battle in our previous game, and now we get this. Our heavies are already dead. I'm still at 0 damage. I can't pen the 5A anywhere. Maybe if we're lucky, the 777 will overpoke, and there you go, 690. That's decent, I guess, but I'm cooked already. I mean, the Minnow's just driving right on in. He's going to clip our teammate, and I'm going to chill behind the Minnow, of course. We're going to load a high explosive. Never mind. He's going to angle last second. Yay. What a game, guys. What a game. We're up to 1,200 damage, and my whole team's dead. Wasn't this fun? This is really, really a fair battle. I'm so glad that we got... yeah, I'm just going to say, fair game. This is a really fair game. There's our grill. And there is our E5. Yes. This is the Blitz I know and love. To be fair, my tank really wouldn't have made much of a difference in the outcome of this battle. Our gun bouncing that Rheinmetall, though, is pretty impressive. I seriously don't understand how I'm bouncing a freaking Rheinmetall war. Either way, let's try another game. That battle really, really kind of frustrated me, because it's just like, what are you even supposed to do in that type of situation? Basically, just bend over and take it, because your team sucks. I knew immediately as well that that game was a loss. As I said right in the beginning, I saw my grills trying to go over to the medium flank, and it was done at that point. So, here we are. Final game. We have a Kampfpanzer 70 and a 777. 3 mediums, 2 tank destroyers, so not a lot of hit points for us to really deal damage to here. Games like this they're an experience, but hopefully we'll be able to get some damage out. Oh, is our Type 71 going to go to the medium flank? Ooh. Ooh, there he goes. Great. Great. I love driving my 34 km/h heavy to the medium flank, because nobody on our heavy flank wants to actually be a heavy. Okay. That's great. So, this is one of 2 possibilities. The first possibility is that we steamroll the medium flank. The second possibility is that we don't. And depending on what happens there, will greatly affect the future outcome of this game. But unfortunately, when it comes to Blitz, you have to stick with your teammates. So we have to stay with our mediums now, because our Type 71 decided that they didn't, as I said, they didn't want to do their role as a heavy. What's the point of driving a heavy if you're not actually going to, go to heavy flank? I'm going to assume they're about there at this point. Hit them, and it didn't look like the shell ricocheted. I have no clue if it penned, but hopefully it did. Alright, well, our Caro is already nuked, so that's good. My favorite part is that the Type is now going over to the heavy flank. After forcing me in my 114 to go all the way over here, he has now decided that he wants to go and be a heavy. Isn't that great? Yeah, that's truly amazing. Alright, well, we have the bat chat. We have the 50, and there you go. Nice 504. We did not hit the 777. They are still full health, and we have lost medium flank because our Leopard 1, Caro, have both managed to severely bleed their hit points. We do have the Minnow over here, which I'm going to get a nice shell into for 730. However, I don't know how much is going to matter, because now the Minnow is trying to send me. Good news is that this tank does actually feature pretty good armor in that regard. Okay, there you go. 629. Let's keep sitting here. Of course. Teammates dead. Let's reload. Okay, yep. Good stuff, good stuff. And... Oh! Oh! 0 damage high explosive. I have a 620 alpha gun, and I had a 0 damage high explosive to the Minnow's upper plate. Okay, game. My bad. Clearly a skill issue, right? Clearly. Wow. Okay. Tell me this game is not out to get me, dude. Okay, now the Minnow's gonna YOLO me? Yeah, good job, bozo. Like, what are we doing? Okay, well, we have the E50 here. We get a bounce. We have the 30B. We don't get a bounce. I'm gonna aim it on the E50, and let's see. Let's see what their big master plan is. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. And that is... hatch the 30B. Nice, okay. Let's back up. And he kills my driver with the first shot. My 4005 is cooked, and that is the end of my game. Tracks me again. Yay. E50 bounces me. I'm stuck on a little rock. Okay. Let's just move over here and hit the 30B once for 700. Kills my ammo rack again. Yay. You can see that amazing upper plate armor as well as the 30B goes right through it. Wasn't that an enjoyable game, guys? Wasn't that a really fun battle for the 114? Our high explosive shell dealing 0 damage to the Minnow's upper plate, and our Type 71, who forced us to go to the medium flank to then go back to the heavy flank and completely screw us over. Well, there you go. A defeat for the 114 SP2 once again. And in this game, we actually did 3,500 damage. But we barely blocked anything. The 30B and the 50 cut through our lower plate and even upper plate, basically every shell. Our mediums did horrible, 41% in the Leopard, 47% in the Caro. And our Type 71, as I said, was really the catalyst for this whole game, because instead of going to the heavy flank, which is where I would have liked to go, they decided that they wanted to drive to the medium flank. And then, after they got spotted by the 30B, went all the way back over to the heavy flank. Great. So, here we go, another game. I'm just going to keep playing in the 114 until we can get a decent game. That's really all I want at this point. One more decent game. That's too much to ask, I guess, guys. That's too much to ask. So, here we are. E100 and a Kron 452 in terms of heavies. Oh, great. We have that Type 71 again. I can't wait. Can't wait, bro. Alright, well... here we go. We got a Buzgavita, a Hori, and a Contracaro, so they do actually have quite a bit in terms of heavily armored tank destroyers. Okay. The problem with the 114 is that you'd think it's decent on flat ground, but it really is only a hull-down vehicle. And what that means is that you are going to get penned every time on flat ground. I mean, you saw that. Those mediums just buttered through me. Like... would a 60 TP have gotten buttered through like that? Probably not. That's really something you have to think about when driving this vehicle. Alright, well, the concept pen's the 452, which isn't bad. And we're going to move over here. Let's climb up the hill. See if we can get a shell into the enemy E100 or even the 452. Let's aim in, aim in, aim in. Boom. There you go. 475 is better than 0. I'll take it. You can see how long this thing has to aim, though, to actually hit a shot. Got our adrenaline cooking. Let's reload. And let's see. E100 shot. Which means I have the opportunity to poke the 452. There you go. Nice 660. Looks like we actually will win this game. It's looking like a steamroll. However, the enemy Leopard is already on our rear, which is definitely something to think about. Alright, reloading. And let's see if I can get another shell into the 4.52. Bonk. There you go. 649 cutting through the roof. This is where obviously featuring high levels of damage and decent gun depression do allow you to get out pretty nasty shells. Alright, we have the Kron. Can't really do anything to you. I don't want to back up though. Okay, nice. U100 pokes. 775 into the U100. And we back up again. Okay. We're up to 2,500 now. Let's reload. Where's our concept go? Oh, he's over there. Okay, it's like, where the heck did our concept go? Alright, we have the U100, which I don't have the gun depression for. Let's move up a little bit more this way. U100 shot. And I don't really care about the U100 right now. I'd much rather focus bigger threats like the Błyskawica. We also got the Contracaro in the back. Let's aim it on you. Boom. 659. And that leaves us with the Kron, who's right here. We're going to reload. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. There you go. 862. And look at that. We actually had a decent game. So it took us 4 battles to have 2 decent games. I'll take it. As I said, I don't think the 114's a bad tank. It's just the fact that it's so team dependent. Like, you can see the moment your team sucks, you just don't do anything in this vehicle. It only does well when you can get the pokes out, when you can get the high damage out. But when your team doesn't allow that, it's pretty horrible. I mean, that's really the only way I can describe this thing. So, that Leopard, not really sure what their game plan is, because if they try to leave the one-way, we'll spot them. Aiming. Boom. There you go. 990 into the side of that Leopard. Actually putting us up to 5,000 damage. Okay. So, actually a pretty good game for the 114. So what are my closing thoughts on this vehicle? I think that it has potential. You've clearly seen in 2 out of the 4 games we did over 5,000 damage. The problem is that the armor just doesn't really work, the gun is pretty dang mid, and when you add all that together, this tank can really quickly fall apart. So I don't think it's bad, but I genuinely don't think it's good. I would recommend to drive the 60 TP over this any day of the week. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.